You ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to Some Broadway World. We're over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, and I'm here with John Makens, who I'm obsessed with the story, John, because you made a documentary, but you didn't just Google schmoogle search and throw some pictures into a PowerPoint presentation. You got like in a Volkswagen and went to the subject's house and lived there.
Yeah.
Tell us about your film. Tell us how the idea come about, and how did you end up in his driveway?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I grew up as a kid skateboarding, just, loved Jim's art my whole life. Huge inspiration and the reason I became an artist and, wanted to pursue that path. But luckily got to meet Jim in my later years. We did some design work together. He did some logos for me. So that's how I got to know him. And then we just became friends and he kept sharing his stories with me and I approached the idea to do a documentary about him and he accepted, so that's kind of how it started. But yeah, we were very low budget and very small crew. So we all piled into our cars and um drove up to Santa Cruz and we car camped in his driveway for like a month almost, and shot all the interviews from there.
It's so fun. Firstly, I'm very moved by the idea that you can really look up to somebody and you had the courage to say, "Hey, Jim Phillips, I looked up to you. I love your work. You're someone that inspired me." And then ask him to do work for you. And then it's one thing to do that. Then it's another thing to say, "Hey, I want to make a movie about your life." So, was there any intimidation? Was there any fear that he was going to say no?
um I mean, I guess I didn't really think about that. I just kind of asked him, but he was like, when I asked him, his answer was he was kind of puzzled, like, why would anyone want to see a movie about me, you know? And I was like, well, I would. Like,
So then there's the million-dollar question, John. Why should we see a movie? What about his life and his journey did you find fascinating that would make a good film?
just his influence and inspiration on art, on skate, on surfing, on rock and roll culture. Just the all the visuals he put out there. Like everyone's seen Jim Phillips artwork somewhere, but a lot of people don't know who the artist is behind it. Um, and just what a talented, person he is. So he's just kind of like, there's a quote in the movie that he's the most famous artist that nobody ever knew. So I just wanted, the inspiration I felt from when I was a little kid, to creating this movie. I just wanted to share that and have other people experience that inspiration.
Wow.
Um, to just kind of tap in to find their own creative outlet, become their own artist, or do whatever makes them happy.
What was your journey? You've done Water to Wine, you've done Red Bull, and things different of projects, different film projects. You talk about being into skateboarding and stuff like that. What was your journey like to being a filmmaker? Was that something that you discovered later, or is it something you've always been inspired by?
Yeah, I've always been inspired by movies and creating movies, and worked in the film industry and on in many different areas. That as far as like creating my own production and directing my own movie, that was just it was just like I kind of just jumped into it, and I didn't really, I was way over my head now that I'm looking at it, but I just dove in and just like, let's make it happen. And just figured out how to do it. But I didn't have that experience before, so with that, what comes with that is a lot of trial and error. But the next round will be a lot smoother, hopefully.
Absolutely. You've done it. I think it amazes me. I get to talk to filmmakers and people who do films on big budgets, small budgets, and anyone that has the idea to do a film and gets it up and out. and put out in the world with a poster and a publicist and a premiere and someone is watching it, I'm fascinated because I feel like I grew up in the 80s too. It wasn't accessible as a kid. Like the everyone would tell you, you'll never make a movie, you'll never be an actor, you'll never be in show business. And now, you've taken the opportunity and you did it. Like the film is coming out, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's crazy.
you're gonna see it.
Yeah, it's a huge, I mean, and in my mind, I was like, oh, this will take like a couple years maybe, and be easy, get it out. But yeah, this project took 12 years to produce. So it was a lot longer than expected. And it was a true test of to kind of see through what you started and just keep going.
So why did it take you in particular? I don't think people realize how long projects can take. So what took 12 years? What was the over a decade of your life and now it's out?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things, like um, Jim went through a health battle, a cancer battle that through that time that he overcame. So that was part of it. A lot of it was just, finding the budget to do it, finding the right people. So it's just a lot of time kind of like letting things come into place for it to happen. It's not like an easy thing where you just snap your fingers and it's like, there you go. Like there's so many moving parts and just finding the right people.
So how can we see the film? What is that we can do to make sure that we can check out the film?
It comes out this Friday in Denver, is our first theatrical release at the Oriental. And then we also have another big release February 6th in Santa Cruz, which will be a really cool one because Jim will be there live in person. And then if you go to the website artandlifemovie.com, there's a list of all the theaters. You can see the film.
So
Apparently, yeah.
cool. I love it. When you look him up and you go to his website, and you see the posters and you see the artwork, you'll definitely everybody will know his work. And like the eye-catching, eye-bulging, creepy or the like for lack of a better word, I don't know how to describe monsters and like you've seen his work before in a certain time. Is there a style to your filmmaking that reflects that? Like, how do you show Jim Phillips's personality and his art on a big screen when it's a moving pieces and it's interviews? Like, how do you bring a personality to a documentary?
Yeah, I mean that was the challenge. We took all Jim's art, which was done on, pen and ink. We scanned everything, digitized it, and then we animated it. So it's all, shows Jim's art moving on the screen and his personality. And so yeah, that was kind of the biggest task and challenge because you can imagine he just has a large volume of artwork and then just the animation process is a big one.
Well, if you the screaming hand and all those iconic pieces that you will see and you'll get to see as you make this film. Doing this film and now that it's completed and you get to go to the premiere next week and people can see it and they're going to see it on the screen. Over the course of 12 years, has it been the primary artistic focus or are there other things you have in your head ready to start filming? Is there this become an addiction? Are you ready to make more movies?
Possibly. I mean, yeah, I mean, right now, just focusing on getting this one out the door and getting everyone to see this one. But there's some ideas kind of brewing and just kind of I'm just kind of taking the lazy approach and seeing what lands in my lap. Um, so we'll see what happens.
That sounds good to me. I think that's pretty exciting. Listen, if you want to make a documentary, my driveway is open, John. You can come hang out in my house any. I'm not that exciting, but I love your approach. You just parked your car dead in this driveway and said, "Let's make a movie."
Yeah, yeah, pretty unorthodox, but it worked out.
But listen, you made it and you got it to happen. So what I love about the press release, and thanks to everybody who works on this film because they've done a great job to package this up for us, is that him and his wife really became close and really opened their door to you. So I'm sure you looked up to him. He did work for you. You watched him, but now he's a friend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're like family, you know. They're just amazing people. And yeah, they it was super fun being there during that time, because every morning they would have like coffee made and donuts and breakfast, you know. It was like they were just so welcoming, and it was really fun. You could tell they really enjoyed that we were there, and you know, doing this thing.
Well, before I let you go, can you say anything about what it was like when Monkey Wrench Films and getting distribution and what is that process of the business like, and what was it like when you got this put out, someone to partner with you and make this happen?
Yeah, it was really exciting, because that's kind of the, you know, you put all your hard work into creating this film, and then the next step is getting it out there for everyone to see it. So to be able to partner with Monkey Wrench and a distribution was perfect. And you know, that next step, what it needed to, you know, get everyone to see the final project.
Well, you directed it, you produced it, you executive produced it. You probably made food for the crew. You probably swept up, cleaned up, put up light. You did the whole thing, John. Congratulations. That's a huge feat. And I want everyone here, Art and Life, the story of Jim Phillips. Tell us one more time. We could go to the website. The website is Art and Life,
Artandlifemovie.com.
artandlifemovie.com. The link will be below us no matter where you're watching us. You could click it, see it in a theater near you. I'm sure it'll be online, on demand, and streaming soon as well. John, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, and let's keep going.
Thank you. Thanks, Robert.